guys, it is Friday. We're happy that it's a Friday. And we thank you for tuning in with us this Friday, right? We Feature Friday with Black Biz LA. So it's your girl Mecca Anderson, your wealthpreneur, getting you from point A to Z with your financial status. And so we have the great James Rolfe here today. And he's going to be giving us some nuggets on nonprofit stuff, right? Is it
Yeah,
nonprofit?
yeah,
Yes,
we'll talk about some nonprofit and for-profit stuff,
and for profit. So listen, um,
and I'll give you a cooking lesson at the same time. Get ready to hook up some chicken fajitas.
okay, are you on the grill?
Yeah,
I mean, you get it in, James. You make sure your family eat good every day.
yeah,
I just need to pick up the habit of being consistent and making dinner.
I got it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you got a great dad here, great husband, and an awesome business leader in the community. James is with us. Before I even get started, you guys need to know that Black Biz LA is a resource for business owners in the community, right? And so what that means is that you guys have to plug in. Not only plug in, apply. That means apply the knowledge that you find here to your business, right? Because we're about growing your business. We're about expanding the community and getting you to the next level within your business, enhancing our communities along the way, and enhancing our generational wealth, right? And so, James, thank you so much for taking some time to be with us this Friday. Um, Save me a fajita.
I'll try. I'll try.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. So yeah, so definitely tell us. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna let's lead with um nonprofit, right? And I know number one, there's a huge misconception of what nonprofit actually is or how it functions. And so if you could just give us a little insight on the misconceptions and then the truths about what nonprofit is.
So let me first say that part, the question that you're asking, is not my expertise. I'm gonna be
Okay.
totally honest, right? In
Okay.
2015,
Okay.
um, my wife and I got a very large contract to promote Covered California. And what we said was, let's take some of this money that we've earned to start some things and put some things together.
Okay.
And so I actually paid someone, we paid them to do our corporation, which was 7 years old. So it was a seasoned corporation. And I said, hey, can you do the nonprofit too? And she goes, yes. Now, folks, it's all about networking because this woman, African American,
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot of money doing this, plus the credit. And she helps our lighter skinned friends, right? And they pay her they were paying her like $25,000-$30,000.
To set up their LLC
Their LLC, get their
and their
credit
non.
straight, and all of that, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I wasn't going to pay that kind of money.
Right.
But with that said, at the time, my wife had an accounting practice. So I'm trying to make sure I got my face in there.
You
Um,
in there.
she had some tax issues, some major tax issues. So we go, okay, you got to cut that price, right? You got a third of it or something, right? And initially she was like leery about that and said, "Nah, well, I'll do this much. Nah, nah, nah. How about we just barter, right? Let's
I
do some
love it.
bartering here."
I love it. Let's go
And
old school.
so, we did pay her a nice chunk and change, right? But my wife overdid the work, meaning she over delivered on the work and got her out of a lot of trouble, right?
Mhm.
With that said, I bought my nonprofit. So when people ask me, hey James, I mean, how you started, right? Well, I can tell you, get your EIN number, which is the employee identification number. That's free, right? You want to do that for your for-profit and or nonprofit, right? Then you can go to the Franchise Tax Board, and then you have the Secretary of State, right? Because this is where you're going to file for your 501c3. So once that is approved, then you take that information and you take it to the IRS to have. Now you can have donations. Once it goes to the federal government, now when people give, it's now tax deductible, right? So what I do know is that you can have a nonprofit and you can just do it and have a focus within your state, right? But it won't be tax deductible. Does that make sense?
Mm-mm. No,
Okay.
I would say not that it doesn't make
So
sense,
if
but
I was if you just filed with the Secretary of State
okay.
and not with the federal government, right? So let's say you started your nonprofit. You said, I don't want to deal with the IRS and da 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 da. I'm just going to focus on my state, wherever you live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if me, the big corporation, wanted to give to you and have it as a tax write-off, I wouldn't be able to do that until you get that identification and the filing from the IRS.
Ah,
Now, what you can do, and what I did, just so that you know this information, there's a book. It's called NOLO, NOLO. It's really, really good. At the time, I'm going to date, right? Um, this was 2000, like 2010 when I bought a NOLO book. But it came, you can go on Amazon and purchase it. It's about $60,
okay.
right? And they have various NOLO books. So get one that goes specifically for your state. It will give you step-by-step directions on how to file for your 501c3 and go through that process, just as I explained it to you. They even have forms in there for your articles. There's even forms in there for your bylaws. Now, at the time when I bought my book, a long time ago, it came with a CD, right? A CD-ROM that you
Uh-huh.
plopped in your laptop or computer, and then it just brought up all kind of other files that you can use.
Okay.
So I don't know. I need to I got one coming. Um, and so I'll see, what type of disk, or maybe it's a hard drive, or maybe it's just you register the book if you get a brand new one. So make sure you buy the brand new book,
Okay.
right? Don't get a used one because you can, but get a brand new book, and it will, it should have all that information in there, right?
Okay.
So, and it will give you step by step of what you can do in all of your states. But if you live in a particular state, right, like we're in California, they have one just for California.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
I would use that. That would be, if you just want to do it by yourself, right? You don't want to pay anybody to do it, right? It is a step by step guide that you can use.
Okay. Well, thank you for
So I,
that.
I recommend I recommend people to go do that. It's, again, from 60 to 70 bucks, brand new on Amazon, and it's a wealth of information. Um, and then the other thing that I was blessed to do, right? If you're really interested in doing your nonprofit, right? Um, I would recommend that people join organizations, other nonprofits, and sit on the board if you can sit on somebody's board, right? And learn what it takes to be a board member, because there's a lot of responsibilities um, as a nonprofit that I did not know, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I was fortunate enough. Again, I sit currently, but I'm going to resign. But I've been sitting on a very large board out of Sacramento, and The guy mentored me after he heard me speak about Cover California, and he pulled me to the side and says, "Hey, you know, man, you sound very intelligent. You sound right, like you really care about the community. I see what you're doing." And he goes, "You know, I have this organization that I just I'm the new CEO, and I need people like you on my board." I don't know nothing about being on the board, right? I know nothing
Mm-hmm.
about being and sitting on somebody's board. He goes, "That's all right. I'll show you everything." And the guy literally became my mentor and best friend.
Awesome. That's excellent.
And what I learned, right? Because I didn't know that I call him the money guy. This guy attracts money like nobody's business. And he knew many of the foundations, right? I've been in conversations. When I would fly up to Sacramento, because we would have our membership meeting and board meetings. And most times during the good old days, he would fly us all everybody up. So I have a hotel, right? And dinner was paid for. And and even if it was for the day, right? I would fly up. It was usually the flight that I covered, right? It wasn't much catching the Southwest flight to Sacramento. But I've been in being connected to him. I've been able to present to our various politicians. I've been in front of commissions and boards and people about healthcare and all these various things. And then it just right. So then I started picking up a name because of what I was doing here in Los Angeles with Cover California, and we did some very unique things and effective things for our community. And so I got to know these same kind of people, right, and start getting all these resources,
Mm-hmm.
start networking, right. So it was. I had about a good 4 year run of, I mean, just really hardcore networking and understand the value of who I am, right, and bringing value to a team. And so when sitting on the board, you want to bring value to that board, right? Um, I recommend that if you're interested, there's an organization called ABLE, African American Board Leadership Institute, um, and they have a training on teaching you how to sit on a board. And they will, they often look to place people, especially African Americans, on various boards, whether it's, the county commission or the Boys and Girls Club or major foundations or smaller foundations, right? They look to place. And the only reason why I took the class, I invested in myself. The class was $800, right? But when I took the class, there were executives from banks, African American executives from banks, from corporate America, and then see that just put me in a whole nother network of people
Right.
and people to know, right? Um, and so it was easy at that point in time, and still is, right? So really, um, if you're gonna start a nonprofit, please, do your due diligence. Let's dispel the myths that there's a lot of money, you're going to get money. Yeah, there is, but it takes time because as a brand new nonprofit, it's most foundations will not give you money until you're at least 3 years old. And then even when you're 3 years old, they look at you very, very, and it's by invitation only. And if I could say, it really comes down to who you know.
Okay.
That's what it really boils down to, is who you know and who knows you, right? And
Mhm.
so that's where things become effective. But if you just want to start something for your family, okay, that's a different kind of story, right? Because it's a lot of work running a nonprofit. And so, you're going to start off doing a lot of work. And so that's why, I was really connected with Fernando. We started having these conversations and working with many of the faith leaders in our communities, because they have their nonprofit, but they're struggling. They don't know what to do. And I'm more of a strategist. right? So I'm going to tell you, hey, right, if you have this tutoring program, why aren't you? We're in a pandemic. Why aren't you going to the school system,
Right.
right? I've been telling people, find the local schools. The schools have a discretion. Each school has discretionary funds that they can give you, and you work that, right? And you do something. You do a workshop for free, right? And then when you see that there's a need and you create the need because you know what the need is, now you start executing. How do I connect with the school,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, so, because I did this when I was doing Cover California, right?
Gotcha.
I went to the elementary schools. I connected with the parent association,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were my foot soldiers
Right.
because they lived in the neighborhood. So when I would do events at school, at the schools, we'd have like, it'd be nothing to have 100 to 200 people at my event. And people didn't understand, well, how are you able to do this? And it was really about the networking and community networking and getting people involved, and stop telling people what you're going to do and ask them what it is that you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? We often think because we got this big idea that everybody's going to buy into it, but that's not necessarily so,
Right.
right? So we have to learn how to kind of survey the community, find out what it is that you need. And although you know what they need, right? Ask them if they want it. And then, how would I, connect, to people? And so when you do that, you get people involved, then they bought into your vision, they bought into, and they'll be willing to help you, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I've had success with my nonprofit. So it's really about the networking. It's about the strategy of what you're going to do, working with other nonprofits, volunteering for larger organizations, and doing events for larger organizations. Say, hey, right, I can help. I'd like to help you do this, right? So if
Okay.
you with Kaiser or something, right? You guys got some kind of health plan for preventative medicine, and you want to get information out. You got an outreach director. Oh yeah, okay. Well, guess what? They will host an event. If you put something like that together, they will come in, they will sponsor with, they may not sponsor with money, right? But they will sponsor with water, snacks, and all these various things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming with the information to help the community. And
Right.
you do that a few times, and that leads to, hey, I need $500 to put on this event. Okay, we've been working with you. Yeah, I can give you, we have a budget of $500. I can give that to you, right? I'm doing that right now, right? And so just it's about networking and doing the right thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you know that's where we are. Um, there's a lot of things that are happening right now. I'm on a committee for LA County. They want to figure out how to help nonprofits get contracts with the County of Los Angeles. So
Mm-hmm.
those of you that are in mental health, that have classes on mental health or tutoring or something that you can help the community, workforce development, training, job skills, financial literacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are contracts for that. And
Okay.
so because I'm sitting on that committee and I'm blessed to be able to do that, now I'm going back to them and saying, hey, I have a network of nonprofits. We do the work, right? Let's do something with them, right? And let's create a model. So my goal, right, is to kind of create some kind of model um, about what's happening. So I think we just got a text. I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
talking.
So yeah, no. Okay. So hey Kim, thank you for tuning in. Yes, so the question is how do they find out what's available? I guess they're saying like where do they go to find out what's available? Like where do you start? So I have a tutoring company or I have a financial literacy program. Where do I go to find this
So
information? And how
I
do I
would
get
start
started?
with, right. So one, if you have a financial literacy or you have some kind of tutoring, right, the easiest route is to find in your neighborhood, go to the school, go
Mhm.
to the local elementary school. elementary schools are really, really good. They're better. It's easier than the high schools and the middle schools, right? So
Right.
start there, right? Walk into the school and say, hey, I have this program. I like, how can I work with the parent association? Ask for the parent association because the principal's already overwhelmed, right? And say, hey, I want to do this course, right? And just do something for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Create some flyers, talk to the parent association, if you can get 10 parents, do coffee with the principal.
Oh yeah.
Principal of the schools, right, right. And so that's another way. And so you start there. You
Yes.
really start there. I wouldn't start with the churches because that's a hard nut to crack, right? Um, because the pastors are extremely leery. Even if you go to church and you know your pastor, that's really a hard nut to crack, especially when it comes to financial literacy, right? Maybe something else, but find the local boys and girls club,
Mhm.
right? So just find these various types of organizations, and even if it's a child care, you got a lot of daycares around here, right?
Right.
The parents need to understand how to deal with financial literacy
Mm-hmm. So
and
you
just say,
recommend,
hey,
I'm sorry. So
no, go for it.
you recommend for those that are getting started, or have some things going on, get into the community, get at your local schools, elementary schools, your daycares and whatnot. And then if they're wanting to partner with or contract with LA County, where they would go through what forum to do that.
So you go to lacounty.gov,
Mm-hmm.
and look at doing business with the county. Um, if I was in front of my computer, I could like literally. I'm trying to. So you want to do business with the county,
Uh-huh.
and then under that, you're going to see procurement opportunities. You click on that, and you'll see like 22 pages of contract opportunities, from purchasing trucks to so listen, this is what I'll do. If somebody wants that, contact Mecca, contact Fernando. I will send you what they call a request for qualifications. I'll send you one from the juvenile justice system. They need you guys. So now imagine going into the local detention centers they have one for the young men and young ladies, right? They need your kinds of services, your mental health services. You can get a contract right now. They have an open, what they call it doesn't close, right? Because many contracts have a date on it. Like it'll open today, and then you got it closes, the end of the month, right? Well, the specific one that I'm telling you guys about, and working in the juvenile facilities, because they need mental health, they need some type of supportive services, they need supportive services when these guys get out, they need some kind of tutoring services while they're in, right? Contact Mecca and Fernando, and I will email them that RFQ, the
Okay.
request for qualifications. And then I will, we can set up a meeting once you set it up with Mecca and Fernando, and
Mhm.
I will we'll just do a class on that, right? How about that? We'll do a class on that.
Awesome. So you guys, if you're interested in being in partnership in procuring your services to LA County, you go to Black Biz the LA on Facebook and send us a message, and we'll be able to get you in line with James, who can assist you further. Okay, so you go to
So this is what I want to do, Mecca. This is what I
yes.
want to do. I want everybody, I want to do a class on this. So everybody that has some type of mental health, right? Somebody that has some tutoring,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you have like product lipsticks and stuff, that's not going to work,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm looking for specific people,
Right.
right, that deal with mental health, something. Even if you do like a yoga training or whatever you do, I want something like that.
Uh-huh.
I will show you. I will do a class, and it'll be 1 hour. So they call you guys. Let's set it up. I'm always good for morning time. It's always best for me, right? And when you guys set that up, I'll come in and I will show it to you point by point by point what to look for.
Sounds good. Sounds great. Okay, so yeah, so go ahead so we can get that class started. You guys go to www.facebook.com/Black Biz Los Angeles, and we will set that class up for those that are interested. Mental health support systems. That's what James is looking for so that you can be able to procure your business with Los Angeles County, and get those contracts. So, it's a game changer if you're able to do that. So
And with that Mecca too, let me say this, right? You don't have to be a nonprofit to do that,
you do
by the
not
way.
have to be a nonprofit. Awesome.
Nope.
Okay, and so what about grants for businesses?
So again, I can send you guys some links, and I'll do that after this call for various, grant opportunities. I think I sent Fernando a list of grant opportunities
Mm-hmm.
for this month. And so again, it's, how do we look for these various opportunities, right?
Right.
Um, the grants are going to be a little harder to come by. I have a grant writer, and um, so that would take some investment. If you're looking to do that, um, she's pretty good at what she does, and she's not going to guarantee, but it's a close guarantee.
Okay. That was going to be my,
Um,
but definitely
yeah,
she's able to help you get your grant. She writes grants tailored to your business, tailored to what the request is, I imagine, and helps facilitate that whole process.
yeah. And so it's just getting ready and really having a good program. That's what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the strategy, ladies and gentlemen, is to make sure um, that you have a collaborative effort. So if you're a small organization, it's going to be really for you to get a grant right now. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
What they're looking for are collaborative efforts. So let's say you have a tutoring program, right? And you go say we're now teaching kids how to whatever math, right? But we also added a financial literacy because I'm connected to a local bank and we're teaching families about financial literacy. Oh, by the way, we also have a party that comes in to teach about making sure that the families have health care going, right? Um, right? And so we can talk about healthcare, right? And getting people enrolled into healthcare. And so now that's like 4 or 5 organizations that you guys are all a part of. Now the grantor, they go, wow, this organization is really doing something because they come from a holistic approach to helping the community. So it's not just you just doing tutoring or mental health, right? There's a lot of other parts that you can actually help to
Mm-hmm.
do.
Awesome. So yes, if you have a nonprofit or you work with other organizations coming together to create a whole system to be able to come together on a collaborative effort, and you have a greater chance of getting the grants that you apply for.
Right.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. So, um, last but not least, let's talk about for profit. I know you said you want to elaborate on for profit, so let's go ahead and share with our audience what you have for profit business.
So the for-profit is the same way, right? There are, listen, the federal, at March of this year, the federal government spent $2.65 trillion in government spending with with businesses. That's just the federal government. Okay, because of COVID. It was a unique kind of a year, right? There are so many opportunities for small business to grow their business through contract and procurement that there isn't enough small businesses to do this. It really isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's how do we become creative in what we do, right? It's going to be a little bit more difficult if you're trying, if you're selling, purses and stuff like that, right? But um, the Department of Corrections will buy T-shirts, orange T-shirts for their inmates and underwear, right? So you can do that. But you know, these are things that you got to like search out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what it is that what you're looking for, and stop making it about you. You know, we got to put ourselves to the side and figure out how we're going to do this together,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when we figure that part out, is when we're going to be really successful in this contract and procurement specials. So by the way, I will send that later to the Black Biz Network. But next Wednesday, we have our contract connection lunch and learn.
Okay.
Now Disney was supposed to be there, but she wasn't able to make it because they have short staff. She's upset because she had to come off her vacation to handle this problem, right? And so instead, she gave us MGM Resort.
Mm.
So they will, right? They will be MGM Resort International. Will be on our contract connection lunch and learn. I'm going to be doing the blast tonight. I'll send BBLA. I'll send you guys the flyer and everything for it and the registration. It's from 11:30 to 12:30. Come and ask all your questions. Yes, I didn't realize that MGM they run 13 hotels in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Luxor, the Bellagio, the Ari, the all these right hotel. I didn't realize that. So what they're looking for is janitorial supplies. They're looking for kitchen supplies. They're looking for various types of opportunities. So now imagine doing business in Vegas,
Right.
selling paper product, office supplies to MGM. So please stay tuned and stay connected because there are some very powerful things, especially what my wife is doing in this space. There's some very powerful things that are happening. And she is finally getting her due connection. And so there's a team of people that believe in her and her curriculum, and they're going to be taking it to the next level.
That's awesome. Awesome. So you guys tune in next Wednesday. And the time again is
It's
what?
from 11:30 to 12:30. I'll send it out. It's called Contract Connection Lunch and Learn.
Contract Connection Lunch and Learn next Wednesday. You'll get the link sent to a Black Biz Los Angeles. So you guys tune in to link with MGM hotels, right? And learn how you can link with them in regards to being a contract in contracts with them.
Yep.
And
We're going
so
to have the Department of Hawaii in November,
mhm.
transportation. We have Sacramento Transit coming. Yeah, we got a couple of we got some very good powerhouses coming up for this month in November.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys, obviously, you can see we're about giving you the resources, keeping you guys connected to what's available out there so that you can enhance your business and get to the next level as we enhance our community. And so with that being said, we're not going to hold you guys on this fabulous, beautiful Friday. Thank you all for tuning in. And just before we go, I definitely want to connect with you guys because you guys know that I offer life insurance, and I must say what I say. Don't hesitate to have the conversation about life insurance. And I mean, from getting your family insured, making sure your parents are okay, making sure even like your best friend, like we are very, as a community, can be very dismissive when it comes to life insurance. And then we have all these questions after someone passes. Like, oh, did they have a life insurance? Oh, I thought they were good. We can't be dismissive anymore. We have to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And so understanding having that in place creates the generational wealth, can help create the generational wealth as we're building our wealth. And so don't be afraid to have the conversation just to even just get insight on like how life insurance actually works. There's a number of different policies out there, and it's a contract. And if you don't know how it works, you may be paying for something that you're not fully aware of, right? So you want your insurance to do what it's supposed to do. And so just get the information, that way you can make an educated decision when it is time for you to make that move, which it should be NOW. If you don't have nothing in place, definitely you need to contact me through Black Biz Los Angeles or What's Your Wealth Plan on Facebook. And I'm here to assist you at no charge. Am I going to give you this information? It's really simple. It's just a simple conversation. Again, it helps you get from point A to point Z and getting your finances in order. And so with that being said, you guys have a very safe, wonderful weekend. And till the next time.
Thank you. Look at that. Look at those fajitas. Look at them. Can y'all see?
Oh, yeah. They gonna have a fabulous dinner on this Friday. That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. But so thank you, James. Really quick, I'm off subject. You guys can do what you do. But how many kids do you have?
So I have a son, a natural born son and daughter. My son is 26. My daughter is 15.
Okay.
As of March, we adopted my wife's niece. She's 14, turning 15. Awesome. So I guess it's 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Long story short, my son's out the house, so it's the 2 girls.
Okay. Awesome. Nice. They are so lucky. Home cooked meals.
They every day.
Oh, that's a blessing.
I mean, breakfast too. What's for breakfast? I'm like, what?
So are you teaching them the skill set that you have?
They cook for them. They can cook. My daughter likes to cook. Cooking for me was therapeutic.
Okay.
And so I saw my mom do it. I did it, learned some things. And then it really was perfected when I was working for the fire department. Okay. So I would try out the meals on the guys. But yeah, it's therapeutic for me. So, but if they want to do it, I work with them. We do things together as well.
Awesome. Well, that's just definitely a blessing. I know that's something they don't take for granted. So, or they shouldn't.
They do when they don't see anything on the stove. Where's dinner at?
So entitled, right?
Exactly, right?
But definitely. Okay. Well, you guys enjoy your dinner, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right. You guys have a blessed weekend. I look forward to working with you guys, and sign up for that class that we're going to do.
Absolutely.